Hi, my name is Tiana Karamayas and I'm a Cavoodle puppy coach and breeder for Noodle Way and River City Puppies. As a coach, my philosophy is simple. A Cavoodle should always complement your lifestyle, not complicate it. And this is the foundation to everything I teach. For almost the past decade, I have been working in the breeding, training, grooming, and veterinary sectors of the small animal industry. I've also been raising Cavoodles for the past 16 years, so I have definitely learned a thing or two about the breed along the way. Now this podcast is all about Cavoodles. Raising Cavoodles, training Cavoodles, grooming Cavoodles, breeding Cavoodles, and how to shape the behaviour of a Cavoodle puppy. So if you're a Cavoodle parent or you are looking at adding a Cavoodle to your family soon, then this podcast is for you. New episodes will be released each Tuesday morning and you can follow me across all social media under the name @OodleWay for more tips and advice on Cavoodles. Thanks for tuning in. Hello and welcome back to episode 2 of the Cavoodle Coach Podcast Rebooted. So in today's episode, what I want to do is I want to talk about the breed. I want to talk about Cavoodles, and in particular, I want to talk about what Google isn't telling you about Cavoodles. Now, to start off this episode, what I did is I went onto Google and I simply Googled Cavoodles and Cavoodle temperament, and this is what Google has to say. So Google says they are affectionate, they're playful, they're friendly, they're sociable, they're good-natured, and they're loyal. When you Google what their training is like and what their intelligence is like, Google says, since Cavoodles are a cross between a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel and a toy or miniature poodle, they are very intelligent, affectionate, and they have a friendly nature. In terms of exercise, it says that Cavoodles are, again, intelligent. They are high energy dogs who love to play and require both mental and physical stimulation. That's what Google has to say about Cavoodles. They're friendly, they're sociable, they're playful, they're high energy levels, they're loyal, they're kind-natured. Now, yes, I do agree with the majority of this. If you were to step back and look at the Cavoodle breed as a whole, I would definitely say that they make very good family dogs because they are affectionate, they are loyal, they are good-natured, they are friendly. But that doesn't help you when you are trying to get a Cavoodle for yourself and bringing a Cavoodle into your family, because you can't simply assume that every single puppy of this breed is going to be playful, is going to be friendly, is going to be very affectionate. And the reason why I can say this is because, number one, I own multiple Cavoodles and they all have different personality traits. And number two, I am a Cavoodle breeder. So I raise puppies. I've raised over 20 puppies now, and every single puppy has its own personality traits, and the type of home they go to is dependent on these personality traits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what you need to be doing as a potential Cavoodle owner when you are getting a puppy to make sure you are properly preparing for your puppy's arrival and their personality. Because after all, if your puppy isn't getting all of their individual needs met, what it means is behavioural issues start to form. And we definitely do not want this to happen. So, the first thing I want to say is when we look at a puppy, every single puppy has an individual temperament and personality traits. And a breeder can start to see these traits as early as about 4 weeks old. And by 6 weeks, what a breeder can do is something called puppy evaluations. And what this is a series of small, simple tasks that they put each puppy through individually to test their different personality traits and then make recommendations to their litter families on which puppy is going to suit what type of family best. What is important to know that if you are going ahead and you are going to be adding a puppy to your family, a Cavoodle puppy, you yourself as the potential family has to be writing down a list of all of the things you wish to do with your puppy. When you write down your dream dog, what does that look like? What does that include? What personality traits do you want? And then you need to take this to your breeder and you need to say, this is what I'm looking for. Number one, do you temperament test your puppies? And if you don't, this isn't the right match for me. I'm going to find a breeder who does. And number two, If they do temperament test your puppy, how are they going to help you going forward to make sure the puppy that you get is settling well into your home, is getting all of their needs met, is having the right enrichment, the right training, the right socialization, so that the puppy very seamlessly fits into your lifestyle. So as a breeder myself, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through right now what I test for in my puppy evaluations and how this informs the families of what puppy is going to suit their family best. So when we look at a puppy, any at all, it doesn't even have to be Cavoodles, any puppy at all, we have a list of stable traits, so traits that they are born with, personality traits they are born with, traits that cannot be changed. And then we have a list of adjustable traits. Now, this list can be changed through training, through socialization, through desensitization, and it can be adjusted to suit your needs as a family. Now, when we go down the list of stable traits, this includes assertiveness. So this means how assertive the dog is towards both humans and other dogs. We also have motivation level. Now, this is one of, in my opinion, the most important levels to look at. A motivation level is how motivated a puppy is to work with a human. And this is really important if you have, if you're very passionate about training, you want to have a dog with a high motivation level so that they do respond to this training. If a puppy has a low motivation level, it means they're not very motivated by humans, they're not very motivated by treats, so you're not going to get that response in training that you want. On the flip side though, when you do have a highly motivated dog, it means they're highly motivated for human attention. And this is because we're talking about the Cavoodle breed in particular. If we were talking about a working breed like a Border Collie, it would be more towards how, motivated they are to work on a farm, herding up sheep and cattle and all of that. We are talking about Cavoodles here, and Cavoodles are family dogs, they are lap dogs, they are companion dogs, and they just want our attention. So if they have a high motivation level to work with humans, it means they're going to require a lot more of your attention, which means they're going to suit a family who either works from home and can involve the dog in every aspect of their lifestyle, or a family that leads a very active lifestyle, and each day when they come home, they'll go out and do activities with the dog. That is the type of family that would suit a highly motivated dog. Because if you were to place a highly motivated dog with a family who worked 9 to 5 every single day, the puppy can develop behavioural issues like separation anxiety. It can also develop behavioural issues like chewing, barking, and other destructive behaviours because it's not getting that temperament trait met. It's not getting what it needs to be happy. Now, if you have a low motivation dog, a dog that is not very motivated by human company, this can really work in your favor if you are a family who is out of the house more than others. If you are a family who just wants a dog who is going to sit on the couch with them and not really need that constant attention, that constant activity to keep them entertained and happy. A dog that is just as happy being by themselves as they are in your company. So as a family, when you are looking at getting a puppy, you have to think to yourself, what do I want their motivation level to be like? Do I want a dog that really likes training, that really thrives off my attention, that wants to be involved in all aspects of my lifestyle? Or do I need a dog who is okay on their own, who isn't needing that constant enrichment, mental and physical, who is okay to just be at home by themselves while I go out for work for a few hours and then isn't going to be upset by that? That's something you need to consider. Now, the next stable trait is energy levels. Now, of course, when you do get a puppy, they are going to have higher energy levels than what they will have as an adult dog. That's inevitable. Every puppy is going to have higher energy levels. They're going to express this and get rid of this energy through the zoomies, which is a very eye-opening experience. If you've never experienced that before, they go absolutely crazy for about half an hour and then they fall asleep. And it's how they get rid of any pent-up energy from either sleeping overnight or at the end of the day when it's getting ready for bedtime again. What we can look at though with energy levels is when we pop them through these puppy evaluations, we can see the speed at which the puppy moves around the testing environment. So the speed on which the puppy follows the balls being rolled on the ground, or how eager they are to climb over the obstacles. And what this again is going to tell you is what their energy level is going to be like in general. A dog that has a higher energy level is going to need to have some more mental enrichment, some more physical enrichment, because they are going to have that energy inside of them where they're going to want to be playing. And some Cavoodles are extremely playful. Again, some. We're going to talk about that in a moment. So energy level is, again, something very important to take into consideration. What can you actively and realistically provide to your puppy day in and day out for the next 15 years? Because you are going to have this dog hopefully for the next 15 years. And even when your dog is 10 years old, if they have a high energy level, obviously it's not going to mean they're jumping up and down the stairs all day long because they are a senior dog now, but it is going to mean that they're still going to want that interaction and they're going to want that entertainment a little bit more. The next stable trait we look at is something called prey drive. And prey drive is how they interact with prey. Now, usually prey is a toy. So how they react when you throw a ball for them, how they react when you drag a rope along the ground for them, how they react when you try and get them to go through a tunnel, for example. It's pretty much how they follow direction, how they follow something that's moving. Now, dogs with a high prey drive, now, benefits of this. Number one, it means they're going to be very playful. They're going to want to play. Number two, it means they can also have a much bigger attention span when it comes to training, because they're going to have that prey drive for treats and training. And these sort of dogs are really going to suit a family who maybe has, younger children who really want a dog who's going to play in the backyard with them. Or for families who have a dog, you don't even have to have kids. You might just really want a dog that's playful because you like to go on walks and you want to throw a ball for them in the park. And you just really want that dog that is going to play with you. However, if you are looking at a family, maybe it's an elderly couple who doesn't have that kind of energy to be playing with the dog all day, they're probably not going to want a puppy with a high prey drive. So again, you have to look at your family, at your lifestyle, and think, what traits do I want in my puppy? Keeping in mind that these stable traits is something they have for their entire life. So you think you want a dog that plays right now for the first few weeks when it's really cute, but are you going to want that dog to be playing in 5 years' time in down the track when you have different things going on in your life? Because at the end of the day, as a Cavoodle parent, it's your responsibility to make sure you are providing everything your puppy needs in their life to be happy, to be fulfilled. That is your job. So you have to make sure you can provide that for them for the duration of their entire life. Next, we have something called human focus. Now, again, with human focus, it is more about how they interact with the tester. It's more about their pack drive. So when I talk about pack drive, what I mean by this is, how does the puppy interact with a human? Is their attention fully focused on the human, really hard to break? Or do they get distracted by things going on in their environment? Or do they have no interest at all in the tester? This is also really important, because if you live a very social lifestyle and you're going to have people coming in and out of your house all day, every day, or every weekend, maybe you do want a dog that has a high human focus, because then they're going to want to play and interact a lot more with your visitors. But if you would rather a dog who isn't so highly human focused, and you want a dog who is happy to just sit on the couch while you've got visitors over, that's also important to consider. All of these traits all shape what sort of dog you're going to have, and it all directly influences whether your dog is going to complement your lifestyle or complicate it. Now, the final stable trait that I test for in my breeding program is called tenderheartedness. Now, what this essentially means is when there is a sudden outburst of emotion. So in the test, we get someone to fall to the ground crying. What we want to see is, how does the puppy react to this? Does the puppy get scared? Does the puppy run away? Does the puppy run over to the person to comfort them? Does the puppy take absolutely no notice at all on the extreme emotion being displayed? The reason why, again, this is important is if you have young children in your family, and they can suddenly, burst out into tears, what we want to make sure is your puppy isn't completely terrified by this. We don't want to scare our puppies. So you would need to have a puppy who isn't extremely tender-hearted, because they won't cope in these situations. But you might want a puppy who comforts you, who comes over to you and licks your face when this happens. And therefore, you do want to have a puppy that has a bit of a tender heart. Or you might want a puppy who doesn't really care about this, and when the kids display, a sudden outburst of emotion, you want the puppy to continue doing what it's doing to help the kids learn to, move on from that sudden outburst if it's not necessary. It's all about your family dynamic and what's going to suit you best. And these traits are really, really, really important to consider. So those are the stable traits. We have assertiveness, so how assertive a dog is in the presence of humans and other dogs. We have their motivation level, so what is their motivation level to work with you? And this directly influences things like training, and then also how much time you need to provide to your dog each day. Then we have energy levels, prey drives, how much they want to play, human focus, how focused they are on humans and their attention, and then tenderheartedness, how they react when there is a sudden outburst of emotion. Those are our stable traits. Now, moving on to the adjustable traits. The adjustable traits, again, whatever adjustable trait your puppy has can be adjusted with some further training, with some further socialization, with some further desensitization. So the first adjustable trait is something called, obviously, confidence. So how confident your puppy is when they approach a new object. So when you're walking outside and there's, what is there outside? A wheelie bin outside of your house. How confident are they to go and explore it? Do they, tuck their tail underneath them and retreat, or do they go up to it and do they sniff the bin very confidently? Or when there is, maybe they come across a cat. How confident are they to go up to the cat and approach it? Are they scared, or are they confident to go up and say hello? Obviously hoping that the cat is very nice and kind to them. That is confidence, and confidence can definitely be adjusted through training and through some desensitization. So making sure that every interaction your puppy has with a new item is very positive, and then each repetitive interaction is also very positive, and over time this builds confidence. Then we have, nerve strength or resiliency. So when your puppy is frightened, when your puppy is startled, how quickly do they startle and then recover? That's something that we can adjust through training. And this is really important because Cavoodles can be prone to having, they're a little bit scared. They're not the most confident of dogs by nature. They can be a little bit nervous. So it's really good that they can have, their nerve strength and their resiliency can be adjusted, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that when we go out in public, our Cavoodles don't have social anxiety. We want them to be able to take in the different sounds, the different people, the different, objects, the different activities happening. We want them to be able to take it all in, not get overwhelmed, to be able to get frightened briefly by the sound of a honking car and then carry on with their walk. So that is something, again, we can adjust through training. Then we have something called touch tolerance. So it's whether or not they are going to be compliant. It's not if they are going to like it, it's whether they are going to be compliant. And the reason why this is important is because our Cavoodles are going to need to be groomed every 6 to 8 weeks of their entire life. And you, as the family, also have to brush them every single day. So we want to make sure their touch tolerance is very high so that they can stay in that position while we groom them, while we brush them. Then the last final adjustable traits that we have are noise. So sounds, and also sight sensitivity. So when there is a sudden bang, how does the puppy react? And then when, a door slams, how does the puppy react to that, visual of a door slamming plus the sound in that as well? So these sort of things, again, we can adjust through training and desensitization. And these, again, are very important. It sort of loops back and also works alongside the nerve strength and the resiliency, we want to make sure our Cavoodles are full of confidence. Otherwise, if they are scared and if they are anxious, it can really, really affect your life with your puppy because it can be very restricting. You know, when there are fireworks going on, when there's a thunderstorm, we don't want our dog to get so stressed and so anxious that they start doing behaviors like barking, chewing furniture, licking, doing, weasel through the house, even if they're toilet trained. We don't want those to happen because when a dog is anxious, that's what happens. So we want to make sure that our dog can be as calm and comfortable as possible. And that is through making sure that their sight and their sound sensitivity is low and their resiliency is high. So that is a summary of temperament traits in puppies, and this is really important to talk about. We can't just say that every single Cavoodle is playful. We can't just say that every single Cavoodle loves children, because it's just not true. Every puppy is going to have their own personality traits, and a family needs to be aware of the personality traits they are getting in a puppy to make sure they provide the right kind of lifestyle to the puppy and then the right kind of training to them if they are wanting to adjust those adjustable traits. Now, obviously, it's very important that number one, if you can, find a breeder who does temperament testing so they can help step you through this process and you can actually get a puppy who already fits into your lifestyle. But if this is not the case and you don't have a say in which puppy you get or anything like that, then it's really important that you are working alongside someone who can give you guidance on how to recognize the stable and the adjustable traits of your Cavoodle and then how to help them fit into your lifestyle. This is really important because at the end of the day, we always want every single Cavoodle to be happy, calm, comfortable, confident, and just having a very wonderful life. We don't want them to be having behavioral issues. We don't want them to be causing you extra stress. And we definitely don't want you feeling like you can't leave the house because of your dog. So what I am very excited to say is that I am currently working on a project that is going to give a family this guidance on how to shape their puppy's behavior to complement your lifestyle. So depending on what their stable traits are, depending on what their adjustable traits are, how you can get the puppy you've always dreamed of. And I'm very excited about this because I'm hoping it's going to become available at the end of May. And so what I wanted to say is if you are looking at getting a Cavoodle this year and you would want to, do this program so you can make sure you are providing the right kind of lifestyle, the right kind of training, the right kind of enrichment, the right kind of socialization, and the right kind of desensitization to your puppy so that they very easily fit into your lifestyle, what I want you to do is I want you to go on Instagram. I want you to search Oodle Way Up. That is my profile. And once you get onto my profile, there'll be a picture of me and Chelsea in the profile picture. I want you to DM me the word behavior. And when you DM me the word behavior, I'm going to add you to a close friends list on Instagram. And on this close friends list, you're going to hear all of the updates on this program first. You're going to get early access to this program when it becomes available. And I also really just want to take you along on the journey on creating it. So again, go onto Instagram, search up Oodle Way, send me a DM, the word behavior. I'll add you to my close friends list and then you'll be the first to know when this program becomes available. I'm really, really excited about it because at the end of the day, it's all well and good to teach your puppy how to sit and lie down and stay perfectly. But if you can't shape their behavior to fit into your lifestyle, if you can't make sure their stable traits are being met and you can't adjust their adjustable traits because you have no idea what training to do, it's going to lead to a lot of behavioral issues down the track, and that makes your life very hard. So DM me on Instagram the word behavior. I'll add you to my close friends list, and then as soon as this program is out, we can work together to make sure you get that Cavoodle you've always dreamed of. Okay, so that is the end of this podcast episode. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have learnt something new, please leave me a rating and review. I really would appreciate it. The more ratings and reviews that I get, it means I can help more families when they are getting their Cavoodles and help educate them on the important things they need to know, because there's a lot of things Google, just brushes over or doesn't even mention it, and we want to make sure that every puppy is getting the life they deserve. So please leave me a rating and a review. I read them all, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Remember, these are going to be released every single Tuesday, so I'll see you next week. This has been your Cavoodle coach, Tiana Karamayas. I'll see you later.